Hi, everybody. It's Mark again. I hope everybody has enjoyed the first part of this video series where I'm trying to identify who made the cuckoo clock. Um, I came to realize that it's not going to happen overnight. I do have some progress, but I've looked at hundreds of movements and not everybody puts their name on them. So this video will be continuous as I see more movements, but hopefully you will learn something in this next two parts. And I said yes, this next two parts. This the very last part is just going to be basically me showing you pictures of what I've identified, and you'll have to pause the video maybe to look at the pictures and compare it to yours. But it would have been so much easier if they would have just put their names and dates on the clock, on the movements. You know, George Cool, Sears and Roebuck, several other companies who just bought and sold clocks. They didn't make clocks. As the maker, I would have told them to go take a flying hike. Then I'm going to put my name on the movement. But for whatever reason, they talked them out of it. And I don't think that's right. Because those folks way back then didn't know 100+ years from then that somebody would be still admiring their work and still want to know who made the clock. A lot of people don't care who made the clock. It's a Sears and Roebuck cuckoo quill clock. That's all I need to know. Well, I care because you could take one. In the past month, I posted different cuckoo quill movements to the group from eBay that sold. One GK movement sold for around $150 to include shipping. Cuckoo quill movement. They both had the birds. They didn't have everything. It was just a movement. Another one sold for $275 plus shipping. Big difference. Again, GK cuckoo quill movement, but they always tell people when they ask, "What's my item worth?" and I say, "Location, location, location," and then what somebody is willing to pay for it. And then I saw Philip Hossenson cuckoo quill movement with weights that only sold for about $175 to include shipping. And Philip Hossenson, to me, is one of the top makers out there. Again, GK did not make any clock. They bought and sold clocks. So you can't say that GK made a better movement. GK didn't make no movements. They bought and sold clocks. And as I said in the first part of this video, companies like the original American cuckoo clock manufacturing company out of Philadelphia. They made everything. They bought the movements to put in it. So they were actually a cuckoo clock maker. It's the same thing that they do today. People are making cases and carbon, and then they will buy a regular movement to put in the thing. It's the exact same thing as what the American cuckoo clock manufacturing company out of Philadelphia did. It's the exact same thing that Jody Davis, the cuckoo clock artist, is doing today. She makes the cases and she buys the movements and the weights to add to her design. So she's considered a cuckoo clock maker. George Cool, Sears and Roebuck, Hecko, they didn't make clocks. They bought and sold clocks. Seth Thomas did not make cuckoo clocks. They bought and sold cuckoo clocks because they were in it for the money. The cuckoo clocks that they bought, most of the ones that I've seen, were made by Smeckenbecker. I have a Smeckenbecker Seth Thomas cuckoo clock that has the Oompa players that rotate as the music is played. So anyway, kick back, relax, grab something to eat, grab something to drink, grab a cigarette if you choose to do so, and let's hopefully learn things. It's going to be an interesting video either way. Okay, I got all my pictures off my phone onto my computer, and I'm going to go over them. Very quickly, we're going to go over some Beha clocks. I don't own a Beha clock. These are just pictures that I've saved on my computer, and we're going to let you see them. This says it's a Beha 240 movement. And that's the movement itself. I wouldn't know a Beha clock if it came out and looked at me. This is the clock itself. Sorry, I'm just trying to focus in here. This is the Beha 1870 table cuckoo clock. I save a lot of these from my group expert, Valentin Weber. I save some from eBay. I save some from all over the place. There's a Beha 597 clock. There's a Beha 597 a picture from a book of some sort. There's a Beha movement from 1860-ish, and that is the clock. Now in alphabetical order. Again, I'm going to save these pictures at the end of this video to this video, and I will say it was an AF movement or whatever. This is a AF movement. This is my AF movement. And you could see the count wheel, instead of having a D at the curve, there's kind of a flat area. Let me just make this thing bigger. Sorry. You could see that this is a flat area right here. And so, and it's AF, Alexander Fleeg. It's got like a jack-in-the-box crown up here, I guess. I don't know what you call it. There's a pointed like the cup of Christ, maybe, at the bottom. Here's another AF movement. Let me rotate it so you can see it. I got it upside down. Doggone it. Nah, I had it right in the first place. I got this off the computer, off of a YouTube video. Here, this lever here that trips off the count wheel to trip the cuckoo. It's not straight, it's kind of curved, and there's a short pin in there. The count wheels are both screwed in, and again, they have, they're kind of like the, my count wheel, where they have, it's not a D shape, it's kind of flat right here on both count wheels. So, and it does say AF on this movement somewhere. There's a diamond. There's the AF right there. There's a diamond at the bottom. There's a kind of an H at the top. Again, this is my movement, I believe. Yes, it is. AF, bigger, cup of Christ, diamond, whatever you want to call it right here. The jack and box up here. The count wheel is screwed on. And that takes care of, and again, these are weight-driven movements. The spring-driven movements got a silhouette of a house on the back here, just like shots have got a silhouette of a bird. The spring-driven movements for AF movements got a silhouette of a house cut into the plate. Now, this is called a Bruno Wagner. I thought maybe I named it from somebody's clock from the groups, but when I did a Google search on it, I did it a long time ago, and Bruno Wagner Cuckoo Clock Company comes up in my history of the Google search, so I know it's a Bruno Wagner movement per the history that I did on it. This is what the front of it looks like. As you can see, it's got a removable birch assembly. And these are all count wheel clocks if you haven't figured that out yet. And what I want to point out about this particular clock is how the count wheels are held on. There's a wire right here that's on the movement that holds that count wheel on. This is a quail count wheel, even though it's a leaf shape. And this is the cuckoo count wheel that has 4 perfect circles in it, but there's a wire that holds that on. So the top, there's no... if I took a good enough picture, not me, if the person took a good enough picture wherever I saved this, probably eBay or someplace, you would have seen Bruno Wagner Company right in here. But when I zoom in, you can't read it. I want to throw in this movement because I've been seeing this a lot, and a lot of people don't know what it is. because a lot of them are not marked. This is made by the Cuckoo Clock Manufacturing Company over in Germany. Here's one that is musical, and the other one I showed you was a cuckoo quail. As you can see, they all have the same cutouts, but with this one that's a musical, it's zoomed in, it says Cuckoo Clock Manufacturing Company. Now this is a Dam Weedle of Freiburg, Germany, cuckoo clock. That's what the clock looks like itself, and this is the movement. And here's another movement. It says Dam Weedle on it. And we're going to go back to this movement, and I'm going to zoom in. As you can see, there's a W for the Lear movement. It has the removable burge assembly. The count wheel on the cuckoo side is shaped like a Martian's head again. It has this leaf right here that is for the quail side, okay? So I want you to keep that in mind when I show you some more of these movements. And we're going to go to the next page. And, of course, it's got the screw that holds the thing on. Here's the other one. I'm going to zoom in on it. Again, it says Dam Weedle. This is a W Lear movement again. The count wheel has got the Martian-shaped head. It's got a screw that holds it on. Golden Sun. I just found this one on Goodwill just recently. It's got the curved lever that trips from the cuckoo to the quail. Sorry, from the quail to the cuckoo. The quail has got the holes, perfect cut out holes in the count wheel. The cuckoo has got the Martian-shaped head in it, or the D. But look what holds the things on is those wires again. Okay? However, this says down here, Golden Sun, where the other one I showed you said Dam Weedle for Freiburg, Germany. So it can be confusing. There's a lot to look at, you know. Am I wasting everybody's time with this video? Am I helping y'all out at all? I hope I am. And this is my clock that we saw earlier. This is that Bolleren Sun. Again, it's got the W. There's a screw that holds the count wheel on. The count wheel itself is a D, or the Martian's head again. And I know it's Bolleren Sun because it says right here on it, Bolleren Sun. Now this says Forest Bill Cuckoo Quail Movement. There's that W again. Boris Bill, I believe, is just the person that sold this clock. Look at the leaf. We just got through seeing one of these. Dam Weedle. the count wheel itself is screwed in, and it's the Martian shape or D shape head, which compared the damn Weedle to this one. On the left, we have the damn Weedle. On the right, we have the force fill. We zoom up the damn Weedle and we zoom in. You see the pedal shape count wheel for the quail and the D Martian shaped count wheel for the cuckoo. Now look at these cutouts right here. Now let's go to the let's go back to the force fill. It's got the exact same cutout on both sides. It's got the pedal. It's got the same count wheel as that one. If I was a betting man, I would bet my life insurance on this clock right here, saying it's a damn Weedle from Triberg, Germany. Borisville is American cuckoo clock. Borisville is American company that made clocks. They didn't make cuckoo clocks, okay? They sold cuckoo clocks. Just like I told you, Seth Thomas didn't make cuckoo clocks. They sold cuckoo clocks. And these are the ones that we're probably going to notice a lot of. If I can get this thing to open up. What's going on here? These are all GHS movements. And there's a GHS clock. There's a GHS movement. Let's zoom in. GHS stands for Gordon, Hall, and Son, or something like that. Now look at the count wheel on the quail side. It has the Martian shaped head, or the D, same way with the count wheel on the cuckoo side. However, you see what's holding those count wheels on? It's a brass piece of flat metal. There's a screw right here, a screw right here, and it's a curved piece of metal that puts pressure on that count wheel to hold it on. That is the most important part that you need to see, because in every other GHS clock movement that I'm going to show you, and it does say GHS down here on this movement, you're going to see that brass piece of metal that holding these count wheels on. Here's another one. Brass piece of metal that's holding that count wheel on. GHS down here. Brass piece of metal that's holding that count wheel on. There's nothing fancy about those count wheels. It's just that brass lever is holding that count wheel on. There's a flat bar that is trips from the quail side to the cuckoo side. And then if you look at the cutouts, there's a cutout here, a cutout here, and they're both long, and there's no, they're all just, I take that back. This cutout looks long. Here's a cutout here, then there's a space, a cutout here. Cutout here on top looks like a big H again, or an hourglass turned sideways. And then the cutouts down at the bottom are just two long rectangular cutouts. Another GHS movement. And it says GHS on it. I can't zoom in enough. But again, it's got the brass levers that hold the count wheels. The cutout of the H same cutout as the previous movements that you've seen, and it does say GHS down there. GHS cuckoo quail on the front side. GHS cuckoo quail on the back side. Again, there's a GHS. There's the flat bar. It's the flat bar. It's not a curved bar. It's a flat bar. The brass lever with the circle that holds the count wheels on both sides. So even if it does not have GHS down here, for whatever reason, GK ordered some clocks from them, and they told them, I don't want you to put GHS on the movements. From seeing what you see, especially with the brass levers that are holding this count wheel on, and this straight bar that trips from the quail to the cuckoo side, there's actually an extra wheel, which is right here, for this GHS cuckoo quail system. You should know that it's a GHS movement. Here is a trumpeter clock, and I want to show you. It's not an actual trumpeter clock. It's instead of a quail, because that's what this movement is. It's a quail movement, except for it's upside down. This is the cuckoo side of the house, and this is the quail side of the house. It's called a blower clock. It's not a musical trumpeter clock, but look at the count wheel again. It has that brass lever that's holding the count wheel into place. Look at the flat bar again. And it does say GHS right there. We're going to come back to G's for GK, and I'm going to show you the Herbert Hur. The Herbert Hur, this is that 1950s Herbert Hur. Again, it has the flat metal pedal for the quail. It's got the flat bar right here for the to trip the cuckoo. It says Herbert Hur right here. It cuckoos on both the hour and the half hour, and the count wheel is screwed in. And on the Herbert Hur, this trip lever is also a flat metal bar on that style. This is my antique Herbert Hur cuckoo quail movement. The count wheels are both screwed in. The cuckoo count wheel has got the D or Martian head holes. The quail has got the perfect circles. They're both screwed in. It has a curved bar. It's got the W for the leer movement. And of course, it's got the removable birch and crutch assembly. And this clock cuckoos only on the hour. Remember the other clock that we showed you? It had an extra wheel right here for the GHS clock. The Herbert Hur has only got the actual count wheel and this wheel, which is what makes the count wheel turn. But on the GHS, it had an other wheel coming off of this wheel here that makes it turn to trip the flat bar from the quail to the cuckoo. I just want to show you this one. It is a Herbert Hur musical cuckoo clock. Again, it's got the W, it's got the removable birch assembly. It says Herbert Hur right here. The count wheel itself is screwed into place. There's nothing really special about it. It's just that it is a Herbert Hur musical cuckoo clock. And I do want to mention with the old Herbert Hur, it has the diamond right here in the W. There's the hourglass sideways hourglass right here, and the newer Herbert Hurs have got the J right here. Now let's talk about PHS, Philip Hassenstrom. The Philip Hassenstrom, it has the trademark of the rabbit, like I said, most of the time. The count wheel for the cuckoo has got a spaceship type holes in it. In other words, the X is really fancy. This is a PHS 48214, and I've already talked about this. It doesn't have the rabbit for the trademark. The count wheel for this doesn't have the Martian shape, the spaceship holes. They got like the Alexander Bleeg holes in the count wheel. So it's, again, is this video helpful? I hope so. Here's a PHS. I chose the wrong thing. Let me see if I can pause this thing. There we go. Here's the PHS. It's got the running rabbit. The count wheel's got the fancy X in it, or the spaceship type wheels. So when they changed over to this type of count wheel, I'm not for sure. When they added the rabbit, I'm not for sure. I'd have to look at the Mercurolist trademark database to find out. This is a Schmeckenbecker cuckoo quail clock. I own it. I'm working on it. It says Schmeckenbecker right here. As you can see, it's got the leaf for the count wheel. For the quail side, it's got the W. The count wheel itself screws into the plate. It kind of looks like the Dan Weeder movement. Here's the Dan Weeder movement again compared to the Schmeckenbecker movement right here. They are different. This is a Sears and Roebuck cuckoo quail clock. Again, they didn't make this stupid thing. They bought and sold. So we're going to try to figure out who made them. If you look, it has the hourglass shape that's on the side. It's got the W for the leer movement. It's got a perfectly circled holes in the the quail side count wheel. And the cuckoo side, it's got the Martian shape head, or the D. They're both screwed on. If I was to guess, I would say Herbert Hur. So we're going to look at the Herbert Hur movement again. Herbert Hur movement is on the right. The Sears and Roebuck movement is on the left. The count wheels are both the same. They're both screwed in. It's got the W, but here at the bottom, the cutout is a little bit different on the Sears and Roebuck than in the Herbert Hur movements. The top section, even though they're both have the removable Burge assembly, the top section, it's got the hourglass shape, except for on the Herbert Hur, the hourglass shape is shorter and fatter, and I believe it's because this is a smaller movement compared to the Sears and Roebuck movement. I'm still going to say that this is a Herbert Hur movement from everything else that I see. But with that said, I need to find a PHS cuckoo quail movement, and so far I haven't. And I meant to tell you that these are both the Sears and Roebuck movements, but it has the curved arm going from the quail to the cuckoo to trip the cuckoo. Same as the Herbert Hur movements. I still am satisfied with my guess that Sears and Roebuck is this Herbert Hur movement. Now this is a Steinadler cuckoo quail movement, and it says Steinadler. I know I'm pronouncing that wrong, but there's a wire versus a flat metal bar like the Herbert Hurs have for the modern day 1950s that trip off this pedal. It still has the W Lear movement. It still has the screw that holds the count wheel on, but versus a flat bar, it has a wire, and I think that is the only difference between the Herbert Hur and the Steinadler movement. Now these are unknown at this time. However, there are some traits about them that could be what I'm fixing to tell you. Remember, this is my clock that it's got the DRGM movement, a patent pending thing on it. It has the 4 nuts because you could take the and work on the time side, or you could work on the strike side. It has the count wheel that has the spaceship type wheel on it. What other movement did I show you that had that spaceship type wheel? The PHS movements. This is the other clock that I showed you that was an older clock. Let's see if I could show you a picture of. I have to get it. Anyway, it's got the screw on type count wheel. The count wheel is a spaceship type wheel. This is the clock I showed you at the beginning of this video. If I was to guess, from all the features that I'm seeing so far, I would say it's a PHS. Why they didn't mark it as such, I have no idea. This is a clock that I showed you toward the end of this video, I believe. Yeah, that one. Unknown markings. Again, the count wheel is the same as the PHS. Why they didn't put their trademark on it, I have no idea. It's a penned movement. It's an antique movement. It's a very old movement. It's got the trapezoid bellows on it. The paper is from the 1880s, 1890s time frame. And so, and that's something else that some people use. They go by the paper. However, if I want to take the time, I could take a picture of this, put it in Microsoft Paint, and make this entire design a full sheet of paper, and I could use that to recover the bellow tubes. So that's why I personally don't go by the paper color. Somebody who a lot of people like, and I'm not going to mention his name, this told me that this is a clock from 1880s, 1890s due to all the different things, to include the paper. But that was a long time ago. This is a movement of picture I got on my computer. I can't zoom in that well to see what the maker is. I'm pretty sure it says Herbert Hur here. And I'm going to show you why I say that, because of all the features that it has. It's got the holes, perfectly holes in the count wheel. The count wheels are both screwed on. The cuckoo count wheel's got the Martian head or D shape to it, and it's got the curved lever here. So I'm pretty sure movement. Here is one that it's not marked, and I have it in my unknown maker at this time, but the bar is straight, just like in the GHS movements that I showed you. The count wheels, they're this one. It looks like the AF count wheel. This one over here has got the D shape to it. So this one confuses me. If I was to guess, I'm going to say, I don't know, because it doesn't have the metal strap that holds the count wheels on like the GHS does. It's got screws, so I don't know. It might be a Herbert Hur. I have no idea. This is my AF movement again. The count wheel's got the kind of straight line in the lever, and the movement I just showed you has got the same thing for the count wheel on the cuckoo side. The straight line at the bottom here, but mine was the regular cuckoo clock, and this is a cuckoo quail, so I don't know what the quail looks like as far as the arms. It could be an Alexander Blake movement. I don't know. Here, I got this marked as a Dam Weedle Triberg Germany that isn't marked because it has the same features as the Dam Weedle, and we already showed you that earlier. This is what started all this. This is my friend's clock. It's a George Cool clock, and he wasn't for sure if he paid too much for it or not. Again, GK did not make any clock, okay? They bought and sold clocks. The count wheel on the cuckoo side has got the starship type cutouts, exact same thing as the PHS count wheels do on some of the clocks I showed you. It has the curved lever here. The count wheel over here is, I have to find a PHS cuckoo quail movement to compare his to. And I am almost certain that his is the GHS movement. Removable verge assembly, the sideways hourglass. These look very similar to the Herbert Hur movements that I showed you. However, the Herbert Hur movements on the count wheel has got perfectly round circles on it, just like on the Sears and Roebuck. So I don't believe it's a Herbert Hur. I believe it is a PHS. So why do I go through all this trouble of doing all this? This is the clock. There was a guy in the that used to be in my group that my buddy was talking to him. He owned this clock, and he told him he believed it was an 8-day clock because of the size of the weights. Antique cuckoo clocks or 30-hour clocks, unless they are Pusey movements, and then the Pusey movements, which are spring-driven movements, are 8-day clocks. It takes a heavier weight to operate a thicker movement. It's 3.5 millimeters thick compared to the modern day clocks, which are 1.5 millimeters thick. They last a full 30 hours plus, not the modern day one-day cuckoo clocks. And I want to show you this one. I saved this to my computer here a while back. I don't know what it is, but it is very, I'm very intrigued about it. I'm almost certain it's a Herbert Hur from some of the markings that I see. It's got the W, but it has this chain-driven for the features in the front of the clock. And I didn't save a picture of the front of the clock, but it's got this chain. It looks like a motorcycle chain to me to operate this movement. But getting back to why do I do this? Why do I take the time and show y'all this? There's a lot of factors involved. I would love to know everything there is to know about a cuckoo clock. I would love to be able to tell you when it was made, who made it, but unfortunately some records were destroyed, and you may never know who made a clock. But there are certain features that you could tell by researching and doing things. And Beha is the number one cuckoo clock, most sought after, most expensive clock out there. We're talking cuckoo clock. I'm not talking trumpeter clocks. Trumpeter and Beha clocks are up there in thousands of dollars. Okay, trumpeter cuckoo clocks are up there in thousands of dollars. Musical trumpeter cuckoo clocks. Okay, not the blow clocks, air clocks, where they add a trumpet to the bellow, as I showed you in some of these videos. And then there is PHS, GHS, Alexander Puig, and one or two others that are most sought after. They're the highest quality clocks out there, and they can run into 1,000 plus in money. I've seen them do it. My clock, you'll have to go to the video. I got my clock on a stand right now. I wouldn't take anything less than several $1,000s for my clock. It is huge. And this is the reason why I'm showing y'all this. This is the difference between clocks. This clock, $2,500 or best offer. This clock, $6,500. See how big that clock is? Or best offer. That is the difference in clocks, in cuckoo clocks. You could find clocks all day long for less than $50 or you're going to have to spend a few $100s to find the right clock, or a few $1,000s. Here's another one, $1,800 for best offer. So that is the difference between makers and the size of the clocks and the clocks themselves. And that's why I am showing you all this stuff. And I hope everybody learns stuff from this. And please, please give me a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel, leave me some comments. Now I'm watching YouTube videos trying to find a picture of a PHS cuckoo quail clock. A lot of these things are unmarked, and this one looks like a Herbert Hur system. And so again, it has the same type of wheels, the curved section, the W. Again, I don't know. This is a newer cuckoo quail clock. It has a regular movement in it. Let me show it to you. It doesn't have a count wheel movement in it. It's a regular 72, I believe. I don't know if they zoom in enough for me to show you the movement. But anyway, it doesn't have a count wheel on it. It's a regular modern day cuckoo quail clock. I want to see if the cuckoo's on the half hour. That was a quarter of hour. Here comes the half hour. Maybe I got it wrong. Maybe I need to go back to it. Watch it again. Didn't cuckoo on the half hour. Sounds like crap too compared to the antique cuckoo quail clock. Don't that sound like crap? Here's a Welby cuckoo clock. Welby did not make clocks. Welby, again, bought and sold cuckoo clocks. And I can tell you right now it's a Herbert Hur just by looking at it. Well, I'm pretty sure it's a Herbert Hur. Let's see if I can see a picture of the movement. I don't see the movement, but I've seen this style before, and I'm almost certain it's a Herbert Hur. Beha, cuckoo and quail. Sounds a lot better than that modern day regular movement cuckoo quail clock. Modern day cuckoo quail clock, I'm not sure what type of movement it has in it. You will notice right away when the birds come out, that it's a modern day. See how modern day these clocks are? Not like the antique clocks. Now, we'll say that this person, if you want to search for him, has a lot of videos on cuckoo quail clocks and cuckoo clocks and other clocks, but he's not showing you the movements. He's showing you they're sounding off, but I'm not seeing any movements. Oh, check it out. It's a PHS cuckoo quail clock. It's a 3.5 minute video. Do I get to see the movement? No, I don't. This is a video of the Herbert cuckoo clock maker in operation. Of course, Herbert closed up shop. They went bankrupt a couple years ago, and this video is from 11 years ago, but it's kind of like what I was saying earlier, where they're putting pieces together. There's plates, there's a bunch of wheels. Now, because of modern technology, Herbert probably made all those parts, or they might have had to buy all those parts from different companies that make all those parts. I showed you all this book in a previous video when I was at a clock mart with my friend Ron. One of my YouTube subscribers and now pretty good chap sent me this book. This guy's name is Brad. This says 1904 12th Annual Catalog. Same thing as the other book that I saw at the mart. Well, this is a reprint, and it says right here, March 1962. So, what I want to point out to y'all is these pages right here. And I would have to look at the other pages to see if they have the same trademark. But you see this trademark right here? That's GK, George Cool. But this curved trademark is fairly new to me. Now, one of my clocks has got this curved trademark on it. I've had 2 GK clocks, and my cuckoo quail clock, again, this is a reprint from 1904. And if I remember correctly, the other book that I took pictures of, it had GK's awards from like St. Louis and Chicago, and I'm not seeing it in this book. So the awards might have been added to the book later on down the road. Yeah, I want you to compare. I want you to take note. There's clocks like this where the bird is looking to the left. Same way, birds looking to the left. That's things that you have to look at. And again, GK didn't make these clocks. And they bought and sold these clocks. But here is my cuckoo quail clock. Same topper, same designs, everything on it. 1904. And this was their catalog, okay? they could have, these clocks could have been made prior to 1904. I honestly believe they were made prior to 1904, and I've talked about that. George Kuhl and his brother were from Germany. They came to the United States to sell clocks. They didn't make cuckoo clocks. They went to Germany. They went to their friends, whatever. They bought clocks. They said, take your stuff off. We're going to stamp our stuff on. They bought clocks. They shipped. They took clocks were disassembled. They were boxed up. Due to duty tax, they were shipped to the United States, and there is where they made them, put them together. They did not make them. That's where they got out a stamp and put their GK markings on it. But again, this is an earlier GK trademark stamp. I don't believe the NAWCC has that trademark stamp in it, but these are George Kuhl clocks. I want to talk real quickly about this book by Carl Kochman. A friend of mine gave me this book. I have not read it all the way. I've glanced at it. I'm a slow reader. I'm a busy person, and I don't like to read. But this is not me saying this, okay? The NAWCC says that this book has got a lot of errors in it, to include the updated versions. So get on the NAWCC webpage. You don't have to become a member of the NAWCC to join the message board. Long story short, I'm no longer a member of the NAWCC, but anyway, I can go and ask questions and watch the message board. But a friend of mine gave me this book, and I just want to point out there's a lot of good information in this book, okay? As far as how to repair a clock, things like that. But as far as the history, as far as certain things in the book, you can't rely on it. This book has got a misprint. There's 2 sections of the plates, and these plates are also in the Den, Dr. Lloyd's book. But I'm going to point out a few things about this book. If you want to know what these letters mean, instead of Googling it, you could see what they mean. But as far as when they came out, when they quit, I don't know. I haven't read the book, but this is one of the errors right here. It says cast brass plate about 1875. GK Gerber Kuhner. Kuhner Brothers is what that stands for. And that is not Kuhner Brothers. You see that? That's a trademark for George Kuhl. And they were approved that trademark in January 1909. And at the end of these videos, I'm going to show a bunch of pictures, and you're going to have to pause the video. I'm going to post the pictures. I'm going to slow down, but I don't want a 10-hour video. So you're going to have to pause the video to look at the pictures. But remember, I was talking about the 1904 catalog here, the George Kuhl clocks that are in here. Again, I'm going to post a picture of the the George Cool trademarks, but this trademark, which is a fancier trademark, it's not in that 1909 trademark system. But you might have movements with the fancier cursive lettering versus non-cursive lettering. Here's a Philip Haas. Again, there's a lot of good information in here, but here talks about Philip Haas, the running rabbit trademark. And remember, I was telling you that my book has got a misprint. It shows you the plates a couple of times. But get back to here, my next bookmark. He is saying that this is Gordian Hedek and Son movement. And you will see within this video, I have several Philip Haas and Son that have these curved, cutout versions. Now, GHS might have made that also, so I don't know whether or not this is correct, and I'm not on the NAWCC webpage to verify that this is GHS and not PHS. So anyway, it's a really good book. There's different versions of this book. The cover pages are... this was given to me by a really good friend of mine. Because I'm the admin for the groups, I get really close with people. And this was one of the clocks that his father took pictures of. I would love to own this clock. I don't know whether his father owned this clock or whether he just took pictures of that clock. And let me see if I can get it. His father, really good. Look at that. He drew this movement. Probably he was at a place and he just drew the movement to figure out how old it was, etc. And here he's saying it's a regular 10 movement. And that's where I say in the description of this video, the very first video, when it comes to regular movements, unless the maker put their name on the movement, you may never know who made the clock, because regular, Joseph Berger, B-U-R-G-E-R, and not B-E-R-G-E-R, but Joseph Berger was the guy that trademarked the regular movements, and this is a Lear movement, meaning it was made around that time frame, circa 1900. But unless the maker put the movement, their name on the movement, you may never, ever, ever know who made that clock. I hope y'all enjoyed part 2 of this series. I hope it helped you out some. In part 3 of this video series, I'm going to go over all the pictures that I acquired. A lot of this portion of the video didn't show you all the pictures that I acquired. And so, again, it'll show you some things, but it won't show you everything. And I just discovered a few more things today, and doing my research. And so stay tuned. Hopefully I'll get the next series out. Sorry it was such a long video. There's a lot to discuss and all this stuff. And I'm trying to help people out because people like myself want to know, who did Sears and Roebuck buy their clocks off of? Or who did GK buy their clocks off of? In this next part 3 of this video series, you're going to see some movements where a GK movement sold for $285 to include shipping, where another GK movement sold for around $150. So why? And hopefully, by the time you're all done watching the series, you'll understand that there was different makers involved, and so different things. And so anyway, thanks for watching this series, and thanks for watching this video. Please leave me comments, and may God bless each and every one of you.